me take the time out and say a special good morning to those of you listening to Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9 on the FM dial. Also, those of you who are viewing GBN TV, Channel 7, Channel 11, Channels 20. What about our social media platforms? Facebook page, YouTube channels. What about GBN's webpage? Good morning to everyone once again. I'm your host, GT, and welcome to this edition of To The Point. Today being Tuesday, the 23rd day of April. Almost jumped a month ahead, for some reason. Anyway, of April, the 23rd day of April 2024. And it's Opposition Tuesday here on To The Point this morning. And representing the opposition this morning, we have with us MP, of course, that's Ms. Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters. A lot of names to call. Let me say good morning to her. And good morning to MP, and welcome to The Point this morning. And how are you doing?
Good morning, GT. I'm indeed very well this morning, and I must say good morning to you. Good morning to all your viewers and listeners on the various platforms that I just heard you called out, and it is indeed a pleasure to be here once again.
Well, it's certainly a pleasure to have you as always. Certainly hope all is well. As you mentioned, you're doing good. Let's kick up this morning conversation. Of course, let's get into your constituency. The constituency, of course, that you represent.
St. Andrew Northeast.
St. Andrew Northeast, and you've been the MP for that particular constituency in opposition. There's always concerns I hear you voicing from time to time. You always seem to be voicing concerns about the constituency, concerns about your constituents up there also. Tell us some about those burning concerns that continues to dominate for a wee bit. Of course, since the new administration have come into place, since you've been in opposition also. What are some of those burning concerns? And also, has there been any new ones developing lately, if I could ask that question also?
Yes. So since June 2022, and we have a new administration in office, the support services meted out to the constituents of St. Andrew Northeast have been quite inadequate. To some extent, there are some services, but it is not far-reaching. Most of our constituents are not benefiting from government support. Let's say, for example, support in terms of housing and bathroom and toilet assistance that we had in place, and numerous households were benefiting from that. Immediately after election, our brigades were sent home, and they were replaced with supporters of the current administration. And while I understand that they want to empower or give jobs to their supporters, it was not the best decision to send home those who were working, because they have developed the skills and experience over time. And it would have been best for the administration to maybe add new workers, add their supporters, and continue. However, that didn't happen. So as a result of that, the number of assistance to be received has been diminished, simply because you have new people learning what has to be done. They did not quite understand their roles, their duties, and so forth. And today, I'm hearing that the contracts have not been renewed. So even the contracts of the supporters to provide that type of service has not been renewed. And it means that our constituents are not benefiting at this time from that type of service. So if there is something that they're working on to put in place, it should be announced, because I have not heard anything as it relates to that. We also had a program done on the special projects together. It was under the Ministry of Infrastructure. That was replaced with what is called Community Development Program. And where the Ministry of Infrastructure, through the road officer, would supervise that project from the beginning in terms of doing the scope of work and analyzing the materials to be used, the amount for labor, the quantities, and so forth. They have minimal roles within the community development aspect. And as a result of that, we are witnessing a total wastage of government resources, wastage of taxpayers' money. And I have mentioned it in the parliament, because I have had evidence and seen firsthand. I can tell you that the issue in terms of the quantity of materials awarded for a project, a small, let's say 100 feet of road or some drain or something, I'm not sure who is doing the quantities in terms of the measurement, because there are so much excess materials that is left behind for sale to other people. I'm concerned about that. If I go to a particular house, no, all the materials are, as we say in local parlance, heaped up there. I have evidence, I have pictures of it and so forth, and this is really not good, total wastage of resources. We also hear about the overestimation of the amount of roads completed in order to get payment in terms of the, let's say, for example, if 200 feet of road is completed, they will be claiming payment for 400 feet. And it's, it baffles me that this is the situation that we are in at this time. Then we talk about simple services that we provided under the Needy Assistance Program, transportation assistance for students going to school, medical assistance in terms of classes, in terms of scans, blood testing, and so our constituents who benefited from these services greatly. To date, there are no such services provided by government to our constituents. And I'm saying so on the basis that they call me every day looking for some sort of assistance in these areas. So these are some major issues there. We have not seen any significant project taking place. We have seen a few roads, 100 feet of roads here and there, normal, customary over the years. But to see any new initiative from this current administration within the constituency, we have not seen that. We, the Simon Cultural Center that we initiated and started, it was stopped for a while. I spoke about it before already, so no need to go into the details, but that is ongoing. We recently, there was the sword turning ceremony for the Grenada Christian Academy construction. And of course, I spoke about the amount of work that had to go into this project to get to that part where we can turn the sword. And coming into office 2 years now, the only thing this administration was responsible for was awarding the contract, and they took 2 years to get to that point of awarding the contract. Of course, it's a project that will benefit our community, so I highly appreciate it, and the fact that government is a continuum and they see the need to continue such a project. But again, trying to make it look like the project was all the initiative, we say a total no to this. We must acknowledge the hard work and sacrifices of the past administration, the policymakers, the project officers, all those who contributed greatly or significantly to this project. So that is basically where we are. The lack of employment initiatives for our people throughout the constituency, and I guess nationally, same thing. People would be complaining every day that, they have many issues in terms of meeting the daily needs. It is not easy in St. Andrew Northeast at this time, GT.
All right. I wanted to ask you this in particular. I mean, you being the MP, you speak a lot about the concerns in Parliament. Have they ever had the option of reaching out to let's say, the particular caretaker that are representing the present administration and talking to them, or anyone in particular of the current administration about the issues and the concerns about the constituency? Has there ever been an opportunity for you to do that, besides speaking in Parliament?
But there have not been no real opportunities to directly address the issue with any government minister or so forth. But as I said, I continue to raise it so they are aware of these issues. No one have engaged me to see how we can work together to solve these issues, work together to bring betterment for our constituents.
All right, understandably so. You did mention a while ago in reference to the of course, the subturning ceremony for the new construction of the new building for the Grenada Christian Academy. I understand you did mention, of course, you are happy happy for that. You're happy for that. Tell us about the journey. Tell us about the journey, of course, but from the past administration to where we had now, in terms of the Grenada Christian Academy. Tell us about that journey a wee bit.
Yes. This has been a long-awaited project by those involved in the Grenada Christian Academy, from the school management, that is Pastor Kings Douglas, the past principal, Mrs. King, the teachers, students, those who have gone. It has been a long-awaited project. But we have to understand the Grenada Christian Academy started off as a private institution by a church community in the Dunfermline area. But after some time, they were unable to maintain the standards of secondary school education and so forth. And the NMP administration in office at the time saw the need to take over the school because, of course, the students' needs had to be met. They were transferred from Dunfermline to that institution in Paul St. Andrew. And over time, it has become, unsuitable for teaching and learning. And a call was made by the then principal, Mrs. King, to the then Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, to come in and have a look at the situation. That was done. The MP at the time, Brother Roland Bowler, looked into the situation, and the project, it was identified that indeed the Grenada Christian Academy needed a new school. So, of course, once you identify that project, you have to look at the lands for that project. And Mrs. King mentioned to me that she remembered the days when Mr. Bowler would have picked up from the school and they would drive around the constituency looking for suitable land. Because if you have to construct a school, of course, you cannot just locate that school. So the location had to be appropriate for teaching and learning and accommodating students. So she said she remembered they went to Carrier, they went to Dunfermline, they went to different parts of the constituency, and eventually they ended up in Pearls. But of course, that itself posed several challenges because the area there was occupied by farmers in the community. And, the importance of agriculture and farming to our nation, it was not an easy decision to have to look at that plot of land there for the school. So eventually, negotiations took place. They sorted out the issue with the farmers, and the land became available for the construction. And we're talking about 8 to 9 years back. And eventually, so you have the lands, then you need to get the funding. And the funding was done through the GIP, there was the Grenada Education Enhancement Project, funded by CDB. There were phase 1 where many schools were repaired, and we saw the reconstruction of schools, phase 1 and phase 2. Montrose was under that project. PBC was repaired under that project, Convent, Grenville Convent, St. George's, the Bishop's College, the construction of the Bishop's College. So all of these schools were under that project, funded by the Caribbean Development Bank. But of course, when you seeking funding and you have received funding for such important financial institutions, they want to ensure that the finances are well spent. So the location, again, is not too far from the sea in Falls area. So the environmental impact assessment had to be done to ensure, to see what impact it will have if in case there is a natural disaster. There were several consultations with the Pearls community. I was part of many of them. The parents, the teachers, So it was a long journey getting to that point. Eventually, when CDB accepted that, yes, they're going to, the land would be suitable for construction, then we had to engage the engineers and so forth to look at the design of the building, the drawings, and again, in consultation with the school community, the Pearls community, and all this was done. So it was a long-awaited project, a lot of hard work. Project officers in the Ministry of Education moved from one project officer to another project officer. There were different ministers at the time. I remember Minister Simon Steele was part of it, then Minister Emmeline Pear. again, MP Bowler to myself. And so we have to acknowledge the hard work of all those who have been involved, because it was not an easy journey getting to that point. So here we are. And to try to discredit all the hard work of those who were there before, we cannot accept this. At the same time, the project is on its way, and I'm very happy because indeed the school community needed such a transformational teaching and learning facility, and I'm happy that we are able to bring that to them.
All right, great. MP, of course, Peters, we drew for a break. Let's take it when we come back because we continue the discussion. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point here, Classic Radio, GBN TV. We come in right back.
On Saturday, May 4th, there will be a shift on the island as the biggest grilling fest in Grenada moves to the big parish. The Maggie King of the Grill competition is at Progress Park, St. Andrew. Come taste the most sumptuous creations from the grill as top chefs and food enthusiasts showcase their culinary skills. Maggie King of the Grill is a festival like no other with live soca music, fun attractions, and games for the entire family. Then from 6 p.m., get a chance to win up to $5,000 cash in bingo. Interested vendors and grillers should call 456-3454 to register. It's the Maggie King of the Grill competition at Progress Park, St. Andrew. Gates open from 12 noon. Bring your appetite and stay tuned to this station for more details.
Maggie King of the Grill is made possible by Bryden and Miners, Hunt's, the official barbecue sauce of King of the Grill, Rubis. Get Rubis, get going. Independence Agencies, agents for Swiss products, Grenada Paper Product, Grenada Bottling Company Limited, and Waggy Tea Rental and Sounds.
Kiriko Maroon and String Band Music Festival 2024, April 26th to the 28th. Coming together to preserve and showcase our culture is who we are. Friday the 26th, Belmont at the Chapel. Early morning libation, 3 p.m. Saraka, 7 p.m. the official opening ceremony and cultural evening. Saturday from 10 a.m. Hillsborough Square. It's Strings in the City. Then at 8 p.m. we move to the Botanical Gardens for Cultural Explosion with local and regional performances featuring Touch, the band. Admission $60. Then on Sunday, it's the grand finale, Paradise Beach. From 12 noon, musical entertainment. And from 4 p.m., Paradise Beach Friends, cultural entertainment and live music. Admission $20. Come and learn to dance the quadrille and big drum on Paradise Beach every Sunday after the launch until the festival ends. Kiriko Maroon and String Band Music Festival 2024, April 26th to the 28th.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. Once again, To The Point for today, Tuesday, the 23rd day of April. Welcome back, MP. Welcome back to you once again.
Thank you so much.
Let's continue on our conversation this morning. My next set of questions I want to direct to you. Youth development has been, of course, and continues to be a passion of yours, if I could say that. You know, you've been part of the last administration. You know, youth development has always been something that you continues to of course, throw a lot of emphasis into. You know, as it relates to youth development, have you noticed any new initiatives, especially being introduced, by the current administration that maybe it's you think, hey, something good is happening for youth, or there's still a concern that nothing much has been done, especially when it comes to youth development as it stands right now?
So I have been involved with working with young people for a number of years, over 20 years. And as a result, I have been seriously passionate about their development, their empowerment. And I love to see young people thrive and do well. and reach their highest potential. So I'm always passionate, engaging young people, encouraging them to work hard, don't give up, seek out all the opportunities that are there. Do not just wait for the opportunities to come to you, but seek them out. And what has been happening for the 2 years that this new administration took office, no new opportunities have been created for our young people. But added to that, opportunities that were there in terms of projects and programs have been removed from them. And that is a serious concern. We can also speak about the many failed promises that this administration has made to our young people. And let's look at it. First of all, let's take the Imani program, a flagship program. Everybody knows about the Imani program. They know about its challenges. They know about its successes. It has not been a perfect program, but it's one of the programs that have driven youth development and given young people the opportunity to move from one level to the next. So government, this administration did promise that they would make all Imanis permanent. Have we seen that? What we have seen is the Imani program is now on life support because they are finding every opportunity to send home or get rid of the trainees within the program. They have not expanded the program in the 2 years that they have been there. There was a major announcement that the Imani program will be transferred to the NTA, the National Training Agency, and a variety of skills would be, they would be able to develop a variety of skills under the NTA. Have we seen that? Or was that just another failed promise? Big announcement prior to the last budget. Rhetorical question, who will be giving all Imanis $500? What have we seen after that? $500 given and thereafter $500 removed. Okay, so maybe there was an error with those who already were at the minimum wage and they did not have to get it, but that was not made clear. But the problem here again is that those who were below the minimum wage, given that $500, are still below the minimum wage because the $500 have been removed from them also. And this is not just me speaking, this is me relating information that these trainees have brought forward to me and to us as opposition members. So failed promises to our young people. Contracts are illegal, and all young youth or all persons who are on contracts will be made permanent, will be in in one stream public service. Have we seen that? We can continue to ask the question, and some may say, okay, it's only 2 years, give them some more time. But what initiatives or what measures have been put in place to show that you have been working to achieve such a promise? Then again, we heard youth in diplomatic affairs. But then I look at some of the diplomatic corps or the ambassadors and so forth for different countries. I look Cuba. I look to Trinidad. Then I look to diaspora affairs. And recently we heard the ambassador to Ottawa in Canada. I have not seen any youth there. So again, another failed promise to our young people. Then we have many programs, they met many programs there. The Empower program. Right now, Trinidad is boasting about the successes of the Empower program, a program that we developed here in Grenada. They were very impressed by it, and subsequently, the minister then, Minister Shamfor Kojo, she's now Kojo Lewis, reached out to me to find out about the program, all the different aspects, and to see how they can have it in Trinidad. It is a big project today in Trinidad, but what happens to it right here in Grenada? Either it's on life support or it's already dead, because we have not heard anything about the Empower program since this new administration took office. And then we can move on to the Youth Bees program. Just last week, I posted up about the sad situation with the Youth Bees Support Center in St. Mark. a building that was constructed, retrofitted to give young entrepreneurs an opportunity to have a place where they can go develop their business plan, get training, sought financing in partnership with the GDB. We also had a support center in Simon, the industrial park, together with the GIDC. Young entrepreneurs had the opportunity to receive training, to get assistance in developing their business ideas. Those who already had businesses to help with the expansion of their businesses. Have we heard anything about it? And GT, we know that this current administration loves social media. I love it as well. So if they did anything, it would have been boasted and posted on the social media. I haven't seen it.
All right.
I haven't seen anything about these youth development programs.
MP, let me ask you this. And talk has always been circulating by the current administration as it relates. If we could just go back a wee bit, as you started off in your initial statement about this, the Imani program. The current administration has always said that the Imani program was not effectively, of course, ran by, of course, the past administration. Your take on that in terms of how effective was the Imani program, or was it not effective at all? That's what, in terms of how the current administration made the process in which it's going, or the problems that you were saying that is existing right now with it. Was it properly effective? Was it effective during the past administration? So, in terms of how it was rolled out, there's a reason why it's at the stage that is at right now.
The Imani program was properly implemented. We do acknowledge, and we have consistently acknowledged, that there has been some challenges with the programs, mainly because sometimes, remember, we are dealing with young people. So they would create loopholes throughout the program. We had many young people who were given the opportunity, and sometimes they stayed away from the job site. So it presented a challenge where the supervisors had to go find them. We didn't want to just remove them and create additional hardship for them. We gave them second and third chances. So there were cases where they indicated that some young people are receiving an income without receiving training. That was not the case. There were some instances where some young people did not attend, and we had to find and deal with the situation. But in terms of the opportunities presented under that program, let me just mention. So imagine, as a young person, you come from school, you cannot find employment because you lack the experience and you lack the qualification. The Imani program gave you that opportunity to gather experience through on-the-job training, gave you opportunities if you did not have any type of qualification, academic or any serious technical skills. We had CVQs at different levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and these CVQs were standardized by the NTA. So you are given opportunities to develop and learn new skills, certified to be certified in certain areas. Opportunities have been created. Some Imani trainees wanted to upgrade themselves academically, so they got the opportunity to study at universities locally, University, St. George's University, and those regionally, UE, and those abroad. So how can that have not been a program that was benefiting our young people? Of course, we said there were challenges because you're dealing with thousands of young people and you had to keep tab of them. But today, what have we seen? Okay, if you're saying that it was not properly run, properly implemented, have you replaced it? Have you brought something better? I'm saying to this current administration, you criticize it. You have the opportunity now to fix it or to bring something better. And we have not seen that.
The information also received in terms of, lots of young people who are young persons, I would say, who are part of the Imani program, who abuse the program for some reason or the other. Why wasn't it a lot of attention put into by the past administration to fix those issues? Why would you say these issues were not taken care of back then?
No. I wouldn't say they were not taken care of. These issues, as far as issues came about, because we had to ensure that the young people, the mindset of young people is not that of a mature adult. So we had to constantly engage them and re-engage them to understand the importance of what the program was meant for. So it is not a case that we did not deal with it. Eventually, a social care unit was created as a result of the challenges where young people stayed away from the program. Young people had mental challenges and they needed psychosocial assistance. And so we found ways to deal with it. The social care unit created where you had a qualified psychologist, you had SGU people coming to assist as well. That was showing a way of dealing with some of the challenges as they presented themselves. We realized that young people themselves had many issues, domestic issues, housing issues, and as a result, trying to be part of a program. You have children, you have family issues in terms of, relationship issues, and so they were dealing with a lot themselves. So we had to find ways to help them. A disciplinary committee was formed to, discipline those who would intentionally break the rules of the program. So as the issues came about, we found many ways to deal with them.
Because there's always conversation about lots of it for those young persons who are using the program, collecting that particular stipend for weeks and months or years ahead, and would not even, going out to particular jobs or any of the learning institution that they were catering to go at to in order to enhance themselves. I mean, it's just a concern that you've been hearing this conversation, going on for such a time. Maybe it's one of the reasons why this current administration decides, well, they need to make the necessary adjustments that they are doing right now.
But what adjustments are they making, GT? If you identify these issues were there and maybe they don't believe we were dealing with it efficiently, what have they done? We have not seen any new method or strategy implemented to deal with these issues. All we're seeing is that young people are not given a second or third chance to regroup themselves and to regain such an opportunity. I'm not sure what is it. We're just hearing big talk. We heard big talk about the NTA. It will be under the NTA and so forth, and that has not materialized. So, of course, any program that government comes up with, there will be challenges, there will be teething issues. In some cases, if it's new, there will be some concerns, but the main point is once you identify the concerns, your strategies must be developed to address them.
I'm assuming you've been having lots of conversation with young persons on island. What are some of those concerns that these young people have been telling you that they would like to see addressed a whole lot, if you've been having those kind of conversations with young people?
Yes, I'm always in engagement with young people, and they are complaining right now about the lack of empowerment opportunities for them. Some of them want direct employment and they are not getting it. Some of them want additional training and they are not receiving it because they are not engaged by this current administration into these projects and programs and so forth. One may say, well, TAMCC is free. No, it's not entirely free based on the program you're going to. And then even if you have your tuition assistance, your tuition fees paid for, how will you get to there? There is no transportation assistance. Okay, so all of these things they are concerned about. The young people, just last week I was with a group of young men who they were taking gambling serious, too serious if you ask me, and I had to speak to them about it and listen to them, hear their own concerns. What is the reason why they're engaging in gambling? And they would say to me, yes, things are hard for them and gambling seems to be the only way out right now because there are no real opportunities. They cannot find employment and so forth. And the concern is that now you have younger people than them, those who are still in school, into that gambling. And that is a concern for me as a person who are concerned about the youth and youth development. So the young people are speaking out about the lack of opportunities presently for them.
Tell me, you seem to speak a whole lot about lack of engagement. Why do you see this shortfall taking place with the current administration in terms of lack of engagement, especially when it comes to youth in Grenada?
Okay, so our administration in office created several programs that engage thousands of young people. When you wake up on mornings and you know that you have somewhere to go, you wake up with purpose. These days, what is happening, young people, imagine, since 2022, hundreds of thousands of young people have left school. We have not heard any new program or initiative or project announced to engage them. So they are just home in some cases. Yes, some of them moved on to higher studies. Some of them found employment by one way or the other. But think about the majority of young people who are looking for further engagement by normally government would do that. We have not seen that. So I'm saying that there are projects that can be developed where young people can find themselves in to develop new skills, to enhance old skills, to find employment opportunities and so forth, to on-the-job training. These are the sort of engagement I'm speaking about, hands-on, where young people can see it as an opportunity, they can find purpose for their life. This is not happening right now. So it's a call on the administration. Think about the young person with a creative mindset and, have great business ideas. Of course, you don't have the training, you don't have the financing. But this program that we had, the Youth Bees program, we don't hear about it. If there is a name change, we know the government is very good at changing names. They have done so with many of our projects. But we have not heard anything about the Youth Bees, young people in business, youth entrepreneurship. We have not heard that. But what did we see? The closure of the Business Support Center in St. Mark. We have not heard anything done about any training taking place in the one in Simoon and the one in St. David, the Beaton Community Center, that was 95% completed. We have not heard anything about that. So there is no real opportunities for our young people to be engaged and empowered at this time.
MP Louis Peters, we drew for a break. Let's take it. Our listeners and viewers, if you do have a question or two in the next segment, you are, of course, invited to do so when we come back in the next one, and we will certainly continue the conversation. Stay with us, folks. To the point here, Classic Radio, GBN TV.
Mark your calendars, football fanatics. The GFA is turning 100 this year, and we're ready to celebrate. It's GFA's Legends Weekend, a 3-day extravaganza, kicking off on Friday, May 3rd, and running all the way till Sunday, May 5th. Witness history in the making. The Caribbean taking on the world in a clash of legendary international footballers on Sunday, May 5th at the electrifying Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Get ready to roar with the crowd as iconic legends like Emmanuel Adebayor, El Haj Diouf, Alex Song, Michael Essien, Luis El Matador Hernandez, Shaka Hislop, Asamoah Gyan, Ricardo Bibi Gardner, Russell Latapi, Shallery Joseph, Jason Roberts, Dexter Daps, and a whole host of superstars light up the pitch. From breathtaking goals to unforgettable memories, GFA's Legends Weekend promises an epic celebration of football you won't want to miss. Keep your eyes peeled on GFA's social media for the full squad reveal. GFA's Legend Weekend. Be there.
In honor of the Grenada 50th Independence, the Royal Grenada Police Force Band presents the second annual Mother's Night Out. Mother's Night Out. The concerts all going down on Sunday, May 12th from 5 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center. Featuring live from TNT. It's crazy.
Time to come. America will have a black president.
John King.
How many more?
June Lodge. Together with the Hitman Inspector, Valine Ned, Samantha Dixon, Alex Phillip, Shane, Innocent, General PP, Kareem, Alexis, Ron Barry, the African Man, and much more. Dress code elegant. It's Mother's Night Out, the Grenada Trade Center from 5 p.m. on Sunday, May 12th. Lots of giveaways and prizes to be won. Champagne and roses on entry. You don't want to miss this amazing experience for mothers. Your tickets only $70 and are available from Kittens Pharmacy in Grand Dance and Grenville, Grenadian Optical, the Police Band House, Police Canteen. Make this a date for mothers.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point here, Classic Radio, GBN TV. Let's welcome back also MP, of course, Lewis Peters with us this morning once again, representing the New National Party, the opposition here in Grenada. And once again, to our listeners and viewers, if you do have a question or two as it relates to our conversation this morning with the MP, feel free to do so via the following telephone numbers at 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number. You could also call via the WhatsApp, or you could call me directly, 435-2041. You know, MP Lewis, welcome back once again. You know, if I don't trip a little politics into the conversation, we would not be having a conversation. Tell us about the future in terms of, for MP Lewis, in terms of the political life. Tell us about the future for her. I see you smile about that. Tell us about the future for MP Lewis.
So, I have been passionate about service to people for a long time as a teacher and as a politician for the past 6 years. And I say to be successful in politics, you have to work with people to ensure that, you know, you can help them achieve their goals and so on. And people understand why I'm here. So as long as people want me to continue to represent and to serve them, Kate Lewis Peters' name will be called in the political arena, because I am passionate about it. Of course, it goes hand in hand with your constituents. Once they are satisfied with my performance, I'm interested in serving them to the best of my ability, honesty and dignity. And they have seen that, they have benefited from that. And as a result, we have a great partnership going. As long as the constituents of St. Andrew Northeast wants to see me in the political arena, I will be there.
All right. Thank you so much. We do have a caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome. Be brief, please, with your question.
Hello.
Go
Hello,
right
good
ahead.
morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to the Minister. Minister, I just have a little advice to give you. You, under your watch, a lot of thousands of young people have graduated. Some graduate twice, 3 times. I would like you, I know Sister Gloria Thomas is easy, you could talk to her, even Miss Delma Thomas, she was on your side. Why not pick up a few of the young people that graduate and you know they could do the job, and have a talk with these 2 young ladies and say, look, I have 25 young people and they graduate in that field and they're looking for a job. Could you kindly please help them find something to do? And then when you do that, I could hear you come on the radio now and say that these young people will reach out to get assistance and they turn you down. So please try that, because you know the graduates, you know them better than them on the other side.
Thank you, caller.
Please help them.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Any response to the caller in terms of the caller's ideas that she threw out to you or questions?
Well, government and opposition working together for the greater good of our people is the best remedy. Of course, it's a good advice. I can do it, but will it be accepted? That would be the next question.
Okay. We do have another caller. Let's see if we can take this caller via WhatsApp. Caller via WhatsApp, good morning. You're welcome. Caller via WhatsApp, good morning. Go right ahead, please.
Good morning. Good morning to you, and good morning to Mrs. Lewis. Just a question which I have been asking, which I see different happening in other countries with regards to the MPs. Now, Mrs. Lewis is, she has been expressing her dislike for what has been happening to the youth, especially in her constituency, and we do know that she has a high youth population in her constituency. What I'd like to ask is, as the MP and the representative for the constituency, what are some of the programs that you have going on? What are you as the MP doing? And I see it happening in Grenada, where I see like the MPs, in my opinion, are kind of on the back burner, just watching what is happening. Then they oppose, then they give their opinion. But what are you as the MP doing? And now that we see that there should be some funds to assist you with your job, what are you doing as the MP?
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Respond to the caller.
And that is a very important question, because I believe that whether in government or in opposition, we have a responsibility to our people. And of course, I'm passionate about young people. So if you're following, and I post on social media regular. Over the last summer, we had several engagement, youth empowerment sessions with young people. We had a session on emotional intelligence. That session was done by MP Emlyn Pear, former Minister of Education. I spearheaded those activities. We also had Pastor Lambert Paul, who looked at your spirituality and me, so the spiritual aspect of it. We had Dr. Augustine Panchu, who dealt with the issue of mental health. So we have been engaging even in opposition. We have also organized youth debates. If you were following, you would have seen that giving young people the opportunity to develop their confidence, develop their presentation skills, their public relations skills, their ability to conduct research and so forth. And I'm sure you must acknowledge that we are limited with resources. Yes, some resources have been announced to assist. We will continue to find ways to engage our young people. So even in opposition, our work has never stopped.
Entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Pleasant good morning. Good morning to you, Minister Lewis. I'm calling in today. I heard the comment concerning, as a young personnel myself, my sister, under the Mani program. Well, currently she's on her way to get permanent at Teachers College at Tamsisi. The initiative concerning the free tuition, to me, in my view, and as someone who don't participate in politics, I'll say it out like that, that it is a great initiative. In fact, as the current dean who's there right now, who was in charge of the culinary department, I had to pay the tuition fees in drips at that point in time. So to me now, looking on and seeing that others have the opportunity where they could get that burden off their back and then focus on maybe things like, let's say, we still have student affairs, which assisted in transportation. They could focus now, the parents can focus on things like preparing them for international cuisine on the final year, options like that. Secondly, I heard Ms. Lewis spoke of that the place that has closed down similar to that of GIDC, responsible for the training, etc., etc. I never knew about that place that even exists in St. Mark. As a matter of fact, I'm rather surprised to just hearing about it when it's actually closed down. So to me, maybe during that 10 year of the reign, more wasn't done for me, because as a social media person who never knew about it until now that it has been closed down by whatever reason. And the next thing that I have to say is that we, young people, the Mani program, I would say, in my view, now, take for example that, as I said, someone who graduated with a degree had to share the same space with someone, and that was as my Minister of Youth, we share the same space with someone that has not obtained a first degree and receiving the same salary. That was very crazy. And, as young people, we're just looking to get some sort of a permanency outside here to just obtain a little piece of the rock to get something from it. And now, well, there is an increase that goes up. Well, my sister had a problem receiving the $500, as you say. I think she went to the accountant general, and it was a genuine error on their end because the government failed to employ enough people to get, as they roll out their bi-monthly salary, which was a big no-no. Hopefully they get that done. But I would like to hear from you, Minister Kate. Like, what are the projects for the next, for you, who's someone who are very passionate about the youth, Ministry of Youth? I would like to hear from you a little bit more. And we, at this stage now, and I'll tell, most politicians may not understand that as someone who's on the ground. Most young people right now, we're not into this, this bickering and, not just giving us a sense of fear every time. We just need to hear how you're going to develop and make our lives better, not with these temporary things. the principal, they're trying their best. In some instances, some of them are even telling some of the young people that, look, you need to do a little English, a little math, so you could get the permanent, so we could write you up. Even so, there was some problems with that.
Cole, I'm going to ask you to take another 10 seconds and wrap, please. I asked you to be brief.
I'm wrapping it up, GT. In the tenure of the government, I'm just giving the MP some advice in moving forward, because it will help coming to the next election also. No, there was some problems with people who sent down names for a person to get permanent in various schools, and that was a problem that was happening. Probably you may not even know about it or had much information about it, but I'm just drawing it out here. So as we go along and as we dialogue, because I listen to you a lot and I'm looking to hear from you more in the future, the increase in salary that was needed, long overdue, permanent work, very much needed, and there need to be a balance with the people that coming from first degree and the people who just coming from like schools and just internet training program. This whole thing need a revamp. It need a revamp, and I look forward to hearing more from you on dialoguing some more. Minister Louis, have a good day.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Minister P, I know there's been a lot there. Yes. I'm not sure how much you could respond to. We do have another caller online. Let's go ahead. Let's see how much you can respond to in terms of what the caller mentioned.
Yes, a lot has been said by that caller. He acknowledged tuition assistance is very important. And of course, I acknowledge the same thing. And tuition assistance to students attending TAMCC and New Law has not been anything new. That has always been done. In our time, we had students who were unable to afford it. Some received full payment, some received part payment. So it's nothing new. It has been done by many administrations in government, because we have a responsibility to assist our young people with the human resource development. And, you know, most governments do this. So it's nothing new. But there are other things that comes with it. Even if you get the assistance to pay your tuition fees, getting to the school is usually an issue. Having a meal that you need to focus. If you don't eat, you can't focus. So all these things have to be considered as well. He spoke about not knowing about the youth bees. Well, I'm not sure where you were at this time. It was the GYEI program, Grenada Youth Enterprise Initiative in 2019. It was rebranded, of course. It was a news item. I myself like being on social media, the Ministry of Youth page on social media. Every training, every graduation, every activity held with the participants have been showcased and broadcasted. So it's difficult to understand how this caller was not aware. He spoke about the difference in the Imani salaries. Of course, there have been a difference, because somebody who just finished school without any level of qualification did not receive as much as someone who was coming into the program, let's say, at an advanced level. There was a difference. And that was the reason why government said who would be given the Prime Minister said at the time the Imani is $500. He did not say it in a clear way to indicate that it's only those who were below the minimum wage who would have benefited. Everybody under the program thought they were going to benefit from it, but that did not happen. So there was a difference in the remuneration for the Imani trainees and so forth. And I do understand the plight of young people, and will continue to work to do our best, even in opposition. And, you know, when we get back into government, we'll do our best to work with young people to provide sustainable opportunities for them.
All right. Call via WhatsApp. Of course, thank you for your patience. Good morning, and go right ahead with your question, please.
Good morning. To the lady that is on the radio, she spoke about people doing some work, concrete work, and they claiming to want more money or more. Like example, she's 400 feet and they claiming for 600 feet. She had that information. Asking her, did she bring that to the government?
All right, caller, thank you. Let MP, of course, you heard the question from the caller. I'm not sure if you could able to respond to that question from the caller.
Yes. So upon learning of that information, I contacted the road officers who I know should be responsible for contracts and supervising the work and so forth to find out the procedure involved. And I also reported in the highest place where I was elected to represent the people, the House of Parliament. So now government having that information need to do the investigation and to put things in place to prevent it from happening.
Okay. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Yes, good morning to you, GT, and good morning to your guests. Let me congratulate you on a job well done. You are getting better and better every day. You know, your caller before says he's not a politician, well, not a politician, but he don't deal with the politics. But what I heard a seasoned politician. He seems to be in the diplomatic corps. You know, don't try this kind of diplomacy in these serious times. No, I think what people are not failing to understand is that whilst we may put a lot of pressure on the politicians and the MPs, we have to put a lot of focus on the economy. And maybe that is where the problem lies. They are not growing the economy, so the burden falls back on government to employ. It is not government that's supposed to create the bulk of the employment. It is the private sector. But if the economy is expanding through the private sector and government, yes, government will have to take a lot of the blame. So that is where the problem lies. I believe if all the politicians would do a program of what you call activities for the various constituencies, whether government go or come, that program of activities are there. So the MP who will assume office will have to continue from there. I think that's where one of the problem is, that when the new MP comes, they shift priorities, and another come and they shift back. So we go nowhere. We should have for every constituency a program that is tailored for the community, the growth of the community, and that should be followed for anybody who assumes office. That is how I think if we do that, we're going to have things going much better in this country.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. MP, you want to respond to the caller, or we move on to
yes,
another caller?
The caller has made some very important points in terms of the economy and the opportunities. But again, that is where you have government. Government was elected by the people to create enabling activities. Government may not be able to find employment for all, but the activities, the enabling activities that would stimulate economic growth and so will lend itself to other opportunities being created. But we have not seen that happening. The government has not created any new initiative that lead to economic growth that, you know, stimulates the economy, where young people can start new employment initiatives or find new jobs. And so we are not seeing that.
All right. Caller via WhatsApp, good morning, and thanks for your patience. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Miss Louise. Miss Louise, every time I listen to you on a show, because I follow you on a couple of shows, Real FM, Shell and Scott, and then you always talk about somebody tell you this, somebody tell you that, you know, and then you always talk about was our project and stuff like that. Ms. Lewis, when a project is given to Grader, is it given for NNP or NDC? I mean, or is a Grader project? I mean, you guys have to stop about government is continuing. You understand? It's a continuation of things. And any government come, you guys in a position supposed to be the one to help the government, you know, I mean, and help promote the project. Okay, another thing I want to ask you, what is the percentage of the unemployment in your constituency of young people? Because I know you always say passion about young people. And then what you're doing, because we know that every MP will be receiving, like, I think, $10,000 or much more to give you guys. So tell us, from the time you received that, what did you do with this money? And are you working with the caretakers of the NDC to bring a better development for your constituency?
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. And that may be our final caller for the morning. MP, response to the caller, please.
The caller mentioned a few things. I'm not sure if I remember everything that he mentioned. He spoke about when projects are given to Grenada. Projects are not given to Grenada. You need to understand this, caller. Administrations develop and implement projects. So indicating the projects that we as a NMP administration has developed and implemented, there is nothing wrong. It is developed and implemented to benefit the people of Grenada. So you need to understand, it's developed and implemented for the people of Grenada, but it was the initiative of a particular administration, and that is what we're making clear. Of course, government is a continuum, and if you're continuing something, continue it in good grace without bashing what was happening before. So that must be made clear here. He spoke about the 10,000 constituency allowance. Let me make it clear that I have not received any constituency allowance. An allowance is made available through Parliament. It was made available by the end of last week. So it was not done before last week. So January, February, March, it was not done. It is made in the name of Parliament. So I did not receive anything. We have to make that clear, because people thinking these monies are coming to you in your personal account or maybe in cash in your hand. That is not the case. Okay, and I have already spoken to the constituency that it would be used to assist them for services government does not provide to them. For example, the medical assistance that they don't receive, groceries, hampers, those who can't afford, who are unemployed and can't afford to feed themselves and their children. We are going to be using it for these things, minor training activities among our young people and among our people. These are the things we are planning to use it for. It is not in my hand. It is not in my personal account. So understand it. We have access to it via checks. Services are provided. We receive the invoices. The checks would be paid to the suppliers of services.
MP, I want to thank you for being on the program this morning. Thank you very much. Actually, for some closing comments, we spoke a lot on youth and your initiative for that, of course, for youth. We spoke about your constituency and so forth. Any closing comments from you this morning before we take a wrap?
Again, GT, thanks once more for the opportunity to engage and to speak to our people out there, to make a clarion call to the government, reminding them that it has been almost 2 years and we have not seen any priority given to our young people, and we are calling on them. We know last budget there was a cut in the budget for youth development, and maybe that's the reason we have not seen any new initiatives. Young people deserve to be acknowledged and be given opportunities as well. There are issues within the constituencies that they have those who they put in charge to look after. They need to look into those issues, because at the end of it all, we want our constituents to benefit from the services of government and taxpayers' money. Thanks, everyone, for listening to me this morning, and I'm looking forward to the next opportunity.
MP Louis Peters, I want to thank you once again for being on the program. Have yourself a great day. Until we have another conversation again, have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Hey, folks, as we take a wrap for this edition of To The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV, join us again tomorrow. Tomorrow, will be on To The Point, where we have, of course, representing the government. Until then, folks, have a good one. And this is where I say goodbye for today's edition. Goodbye, folks.